Hello, and welcome back to the Nerds with Shirts podcast. I'm Kyle.
I'm Bryce.
And I'm Seth.
And today we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be a big podcast, hopefully. We got this past week, there's been some really big leaks about E3 from both Sony and Microsoft. So we're going to talk about that. Possibly Microsoft. Microsoft is more rumor than Sony is, but they're both still kind of...
And just to let you guys know, these are, for the most part, rumors. They've been confirmed by a few sources, but nothing solid and set in stone. So do not give your hopes up about any of these supposed releases or reveals, because they take them as rumors.
Yes, so take everything we say with a grain of salt, because it may or may not be true. Which now gives us the authority to say whatever we want.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The next Skyrim game, or the next Elder Scrolls game, is going to be modern day. Is one of the leaks.
It's going to have guns.
Yeah.
Infinity Ward is helping with it too.
Yeah, and Bungie. It's going to be crazy. Okay, so now that
if Bungie, Infinity Ward, and Bethesda worked all together to make a game,
awesome.
that
would kind of be amazing.
That could be pretty epic. But no. To be serious here.
It'd be like Halo in the style of Elder Scrolls.
Dragons.
No, I just mean like you can pick up everything, you have choices and stuff.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really neat.
That would be.
Anyways, to the official stuff. Official. Alright, so on the Sony side first is what we're going to talk about. Most of this stuff will be taken from our sources, DualShockers.com.
It's a blog that supposedly had an anonymous source tell them that...
We'll put a link to the original article in the description.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Hopefully. And so what's the first thing on our list of awesome things?
The first thing? I don't know. You haven't played any Uncharted games.
I have not yet.
But they were pretty good. I'm hoping they do better with the fourth one. The third one, they kind of went downhill. You could see they did it more for money than for actual storyline. I wasn't real happy with it. But there will be a 3-minute trailer showcasing in-engine
yes.
footage intersped with gameplay segments. Basically, we'll get a video, a little teaser trailer of the new Uncharted game that's supposed to come out, and this is supposed to take time in different time periods with both Francis Drake and Nathan Drake.
Francis Drake?
Francis Drake.
That
was his supposed ancestor.
Oh, cool. So that would be really cool.
What else do we have, Kyle?
Media Molecule's new title will be a landmark title for the Morpheus. Now, we haven't had much information on the Morpheus yet, but supposedly there's going to be a lot of big reveals about it at E3. So that'll be really cool.
I actually might have something later to talk about the Morpheus.
Yes.
We'll get to that, though.
Media Molecule's presentation will demonstrate 3D world building, quirky visuals, and something that is extremely creative and fun. It's possibly related to the Entwined trademark that was filed last week by SCE.
I didn't get any chance to look up what the Entwined trademark was.
I think it's just for the name and possibly a description. But so there's not been a lot of details released about what that actually is, but it will be cool to see something for the Morpheus.
Another thing is Gran Turismo 6 is supposed to be coming to PS4
which is cool.
as a 1080p game with 60 frames per second, which is quite a bit.
Yep. So this will be packaged as Gran Turismo 7 Prologue.
Yes.
So that reveal in itself lets us see that, hey, Gran Turismo 7 is probably right around the corner as a full game. So that'll be... All these things are also, they're coming really late. That's scheduled for sometime mid-2015.
Yeah, most of the stuff won't be released until mid-2015, fall 2015. But there's still pretty cool things to look forward to.
Yeah.
We might actually have a PS4 or Xbox One by then. Preferably PS4.
Yeah, probably PS4. I was talking with a friend about this earlier. And we'll have him on the show actually here soon to review a PS4 game for us. But E3 is really going to be a deciding factor for me in the console war. Because right now both consoles basically offer the exact same thing.
There's very little support for it also right now.
Yeah. And, well, I'm just saying hardware-wise, they both put out the same graphics. They both have the same type of... they both have good online support. They both have the video editor tool built into them. So there's not a lot of differences between the consoles except the games that are being released for them. And so E3 is going to be a big thing for me because then they'll announce the titles that are going to be exclusive to each one. And exclusives is where it's at, That's what chooses your console, really, is what you want to play that's only going to be on one of them. So I'm interested to see what Microsoft releases as their exclusives compared to what Sony releases as theirs.
Now, one exclusive that I'm looking forward to... Actually, I'm not sure if it's quite an exclusive, but Quantic Dream, the developers behind Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, great studio for making interactive movies. Games that make you feel like you are not just playing it, but you're living them. Are supposedly having a trailer prepared for E3 to release 1 or 2 more titles that they're working on.
Wow.
And some of these, they're going to try to do some real-time rendering and really make you feel like you're part of it.
Well, that'll be really cool. I was reading a little bit about Quantic Dreams, some of the stuff that they're going to have, that they're going to show off. And they're doing the photorealistic textures, which will be really cool because that's something that hasn't really been shown off in a game yet, is using anything that has photorealism. I saw a tech demo last year of like what something could look like if it was photorealistic. Mm-hmm. But, it had to be pre-rendered and everything. It couldn't be rendered real time. So if they're able to do that real time and have photorealism, that would be really, really
awesome.
Cool. Especially if they can combine it with the Morpheus. There's a counter for the awesome meter.
I know.
So also, they'll be showing the next God of War series, God of War 4. We'll have a teaser. I've never played any of the God of War games, so I can't say I'm particularly excited about that.
Now, Sony Japan Studios is showing off 2 or 3 titles. There is one that's still shrouded in secrecy, which is probably a good thing. You don't want everything to be leaked out, or else there's no surprises.
Right.
I love
surprises.
surprises.
That's the thing with any of this, really, is because this is all Sony's press conference. We still haven't seen what Square Enix is doing or any of the other, Bethesda or whatever, what their press conferences are going to be about.
That's very true. This was completely Sony. But Sony Japan Studios, 2 of those titles are ones that will be part of a very, help me move forward, Kyle, very well-played series.
Oh, so they're part of an existing series already.
Part of existing series already.
Okay. So,
but very well-played ones. For instance, Project Beast, it will be a it will be another game in the Soul series for those of you that like those games. And then also The Last Guardian, which has been in anticipation for years.
Yeah. I have my doubts about that one. I would love to see it. Like Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, like, in the list of my favorite games, they're right near the top. And I've been looking forward to Last Guardian since it was teased back in like 1993 or something.
Oh yeah, it's been a while
since they've been pushing the release date back. So yeah, I would love to see that, especially next generation console. That would be awesome. But at the same time, it just hasn't had much success so far.
Well, we'll just have to see. We only have another month until E3.
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming up on us.
We'll definitely have coverage through like all of that. We'll be watching that and trying to post things pretty closely to when things are announced. Hopefully around that time.
Hope so.
I think it's like June. It's the second week in June. I know that. Yeah. Let's see. The Killstrain trademark is related to the Siphon Filter games. I don't know if you ever played Siphon Filter.
I have not.
I happened to play half of the first game, and that's as far as I got in the series. But supposedly they have a pretty big following. It's kind of like a cult following thing where they weren't really popular when they released, but then they got popular later. Stop shaking your foot. You're going to make our microphone all weird.
It's a habit, Kyle. Just.
But the Siphon Filter games are getting a complete reboot for PS4. And so that'll be really cool. And they focus a lot on stealth, so it's kind of like Metal Gear Solid in a way.
That'll be interesting. We need more stealth genre games.
Yeah.
I love the stealth genre. I was a little bit disappointed with Thief. It didn't live up to the expectations that the other games in the series had to offer.
Thieves were so great, but
oh yeah.
Wipeout's also making transition to PS4. Yay, I guess. I played like one Wipeout game in the past.
Back when PSN got hacked, like 5 years ago, something like that. It was quite a few years ago. We were able to get like free games and PlayStation Plus for a month, but that was one of the games that came out. I played it for a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's
it plays about as much as a racing. You can play a racing game.
It's
which
racing.
Some people get into racing games. Nothing against them.
I have some friends that they play it. They play racing games all the time.
I can't do racing games for very long. I can do it for a little bit, but then
I try, but I'm not. I'm more of an RPG person.
So what else we got? We got a lot to go through. So move on a little bit.
Yeah, let's go from that. Let's actually just go from that to Microsoft.
Well, I don't know. There's a couple good things. I'm gonna mention.
There's something here about the Morpheus.
Well, real quick, I want to mention Ready at Dawn is going to be teasing the Order 1886, which may have promise. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at a lot of it. But then
it looks pretty cool.
Personal favorite studio of mine, Ninja Theory, is working on a PS4 exclusive, which is a possible sequel to Heavenly Sword. I really hope it's not, and they just do something else.
I never played Heavenly Sword.
I didn't either, but I don't have any interest in playing it. So, But I love this studio. They produce some great stuff. So I hope they do something cooler than Heavenly Sword. And then, of course, Guerrilla Games has a big open world RPG that's set to be announced at E3. So I didn't look up what Guerrilla Games has done.
I haven't either. I want to say that they've done quite a few things.
I tell you what.
While you're looking that up, I'll talk about some of Microsoft stuff.
Yeah, go do that.
That way we don't have any awkward silence this time. Actually, we might still have awkward silence. It depends on how long it takes me to get there. Okay. Now, of course, when it comes to Sony and Microsoft, if one ends up getting their stuff leaked, then the other follows suit. If one does anything, then the other one follows suit, it has to try to make theirs better. So apparently Microsoft's press conference details were also leaked. And that includes things like Rise 2 is in development and will be announced at the show in a real-time in-game trailer. It's supposed to be in the Roman period, and it's supposed to offer more freedom of exploration and refined combat system. The main character is a sellsword of sorts with a greater destiny. This game looks beyond relief, and there is no release date announced yet.
The first Rise game didn't get very good reception. So it kind of surprises me that it's getting a sequel so fast. Which also, to me, kind of hints at maybe not much promise in it. Or maybe the first game was a rushed thing so that they could get the main game out in time. Sort of like the newest Metal Gear Solid, which is only 30 minutes long, I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay, so Guerrilla Games is the company behind the Killzone series.
Oh, okay. Yes, that was a good series.
So, and they also did Shell Shock back in 2004. So, that's interesting that they're working on an RPG, because the Killzone series, that's like straight shooter.
It's first-person shooter.
Yeah. So, they're supposed to be releasing an open-world RPG. So, I wonder how that'll do. It says it's a new IP for them. So,
we'll just have to see. Now, in other news, Halo 2 Anniversary Edition and Halo 5 are all supposed to have their release dates announced.
That's cool.
At E3.
I'm surprised it's taken them this long to get around to the second Anniversary Edition. So what?
That is kind of sad.
The initial Halo Anniversary was, 3 years ago?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I kind of like I've always been a fan of Rare. They've made some really good games. I started out.
I love this reboot. I'm gonna say that.
They're doing a reboot of Battletoads and Perfect Dark.
Battletoads.
Yes.
Oh. Yes. Do you remember? Did you ever play Battletoads on Super Nintendo that was out on?
I did.
That's good. It's hard.
Yes, it is. I beat it.
That's a ridiculously hard game.
And then Perfect Dark is going to be actually rebooted into a third-person adventure game, supposedly close to what Uncharted is like.
Huh. That'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
Let's see here. Epic will be releasing some new stuff. I like some Epic games. There was something that I really wanted that I liked. Well, Turn 10's not releasing anything this year. That's kind of sad.
Lionhead is having brief gameplay of Fable Legends, and will have a teaser of their new project, which could be in a post-cataclysmic Earth.
Oh, apocalyptic. That's never been done before.
I know.
I'm kidding. I'm sure it'll be awesome. Usually
apocalyptic games are.
That's Lionhead that's doing that?
Lionhead's doing that. So it could turn out...
they make good stuff.
Yeah,
so,
they have made pretty good games. The Fable series was really good. I haven't played any of them, but I've heard it was really good. Yeah, I've heard good things. Then also, there is...
I like this one. I've been following this game a little bit. Sunset Overdrive is aiming for a release in the last weeks of August.
Now, what is Sunset Overdrive? I've heard a lot about it lately.
It's really hard to explain what it is, and there's still not a lot out there about it. But graphically, it's really colorful. And it's set to play as sort of, by their description, a mix of Sonic and Jet Set Radio and Ratchet & Clank. Which I love all three of those.
Yes.
So if they're all together in one, it says it's going to be action and parkour, so that's pretty cool.
It sounds pretty cool. Interesting.
I'm just
interesting mix.
Imagining in my head like a really colorful version of like Mirror's Edge. Which it hasn't been announced here yet, but I'm really hoping to see another trailer for Mirror's Edge 2 at this E3.
That did look really good.
I'm so excited. Speaking of things that haven't been confirmed, but I really want to see, is teased a little bit. It was a couple months back, but supposedly we may get a little more info on Beyond Good and Evil 2. And also Alan Wake 2.
Hopefully.
So both of those I'm psyched for. Alan Wake, another one that's like up there in my favorite games, and Beyond Good and Evil was like one of the best ones I played for PS2.
It was great. I'm disappointed it's taken this long to make a second game though. Especially the way they ended, because after, never mind, you guys need to just play.
Spoilers. Maybe we'll do a Let's Play of it.
Hey, we might. Now, there's a few multi-platform games that are going to be announced, and there's EA game. It's not specified, but there's supposed to be an EA game.
There's a Call of Duty.
For those of you that like shooting stuff. And there's Fallout 4, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I mean, yes, I'll be honest, that's shooting stuff too, but it's mutants and it's post-apocalyptic world.
So I like how nonchalantly we said that. But, hey, Fallout 4. It's like put at the very bottom of this list. It's literally the last paragraph. Multi-platforms are as follows. The Division, Call of Duty, EA game, Fallout 4. Like, that's a game that Bethesda fans have been waiting for forever.
Yeah.
And Fallout 3 released soon after the Xbox 360 release, right?
And then there was New Vegas.
And then New Vegas, which I never got to play that one.
I haven't. I played Fallout 3 and it stole my heart. Then again, I've always been a big fan of Bethesda. They make great games, great sandbox RPGs.
Yeah. So, I just love how that's just kind of thrown in there. Like, yeah, I'm Fallout 4. It's like the one title everyone's been waiting.
It came out in Fallout 3 came out in October 2008.
2008?
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah.
So
it's old.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's 6 years ago.
6 years. It's 2014.
I know.
Years keep on going. Years are going too fast for me.
So that's about it for the interesting things that were teased. I'm interested to see what more will be released. As Bryce said earlier, when one company has a leak, it's inevitable that the other companies will follow suit and have leaks because it builds. What's the word?
Gets fans excited.
Yeah, it gets people excited. It builds enthusiasm and suspense and stuff about what's actually going to be there. And I'm just interested to see who. Like last year, Sony was the clear winner of E3. I mean, they whooped Microsoft, and then Nintendo was there because they have to make an appearance at E3, but I don't think they really had any reason to.
Unfortunately.
Maybe this year we'll actually see something.
They're supposed to release hardware. Another leak is actually they're supposed to release new hardware. Probably a redesigned 3DS or a new gamepad for the Wii U.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll at least be getting something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear Seth or not, but there's going to be hardware released.
Yeah, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Now, me and AJ were discussing this about Nintendo's path in the hardware. And, excuse me. Really, they're not competing right now with the next generation consoles because they've all moved on to these incredibly powerful machines. And Nintendo has just jumped on the HD bandwagon. And so they're a few steps behind everyone else. But what they have is they have products that people will always buy. Yes. You have Mario and Zelda and Metroid and everything like that people are always going to buy.
They have franchises
yes.
that are well known.
Amazing franchises.
Yes.
They're also the only company with a decent handheld right now. Or not a decent handheld hardware-wise, but a decently handheld development and support-wise.
That's true.
So you got...
While we do have the PS Vita out...
The Vita is spectacular hardware.
It's spectacular, but we're just seeing good support from it.
And, your games that you get out, that you're getting for it that are good are all first-party games. Whereas with the 3DS, even though Nintendo's kind of niche is that they have really good first-party games and terrible third-party games, right now the 3DS has some great third-party RPG. I know, I see our time. RPGs and stuff coming out. So we're kind of wondering if maybe the next release of hardware will be an amped-up handheld of some sort.
Well, they did mention that instead of making different versions of the Wii U, they were going to make, this is still rumor also, but they were going to make different versions of it for certain markets. To appeal to a certain market.
That'd be cool. So I'm interested to see what all happens with that.
Now, one last thing, I do want to talk about Sony. We are coming really close on time, but I'll go ahead and announce it anyways.
It's a bit. We warned them. It's a big podcast today.
Oh yeah, we did warn you guys. But now the Sony PS4, one of the biggest complaints about their new not new controller, but the controller that comes with it, is that light bar on the back of it, that extremely bright light bar. Because it would reflect off the TV, it would get annoying when you're playing games. And the new software update for the PS4 makes it so that you can dim the light, so it's not that big of a deal. But what was that light for? Was it for decoration or something more? Sony has announced that it was actually for tracking for the Morpheus VR system.
That's cool.
It's so that you can use it with the Sony Morpheus. The only reason why they did not announce that beforehand is they really didn't have enough support, enough backing, and enough time spent working on the Morpheus to really talk about it yet.
And now that the Morpheus is getting some new press releases, and we're going to see more of it at E3, it's really looking like a much better system than what it initially was released as. The resolution keeps getting higher, and their depth of field and their perception is getting better. I think our last NWS podcast had some specs on both the Morpheus and the Oculus. In a picture, you can look at that. But I'm really interested to see what both of them are doing with the acquisition of Oculus by Facebook. I'm interested to see where that goes, what they're going to be compatible with. Just complete speculation, and but I think I have a feeling that since Sony is pushing the Morpheus so much, that the reason they would be getting into the virtual reality systems, like right now, virtual reality is for PC, right?
Yes.
So why does Sony feel the need to make a virtual reality system for a console?
They wouldn't do so unless they're worried about Microsoft doing the same thing, right?
That would be what I would think. And who is the most distributed or most widely used PC software? Who makes that?
Microsoft.
Yeah. So they kind of already have a hand in the Oculus. So I wouldn't be surprised, and this is pure speculation, if we see compatibility with the Oculus and the Xbox One.
Completely new weapons thrown into their warfare.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it past Sony to kind of be forward thinking like that. Like, well, Microsoft has the ability; they could take the Oculus and make it compatible since it's already a PC thing, and Microsoft knows their way around PC.
That's very true.
So we'll see. I think E3 will bring more light on that too. So
Hopefully.
We'll see what happens. But is that it for this one?
That's it for this one.
It's been a little bit longer than normal, only about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So
I'm Bryce.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Seth.
And this has been the Nerds with Shirts podcast.
Yes, this is the Nerds with Shirts podcast.
Remember, you can contact us at NWSpodcast@gmail.com, and also our Facebook, our Twitter, and our Instagram, which we'll have in the description and also in the video after the credits. Well, in the credits.
In the credits.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Thanks
remember
for
to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Thanks for watching.